Hi, this is Sweet June coming right back at you. It's a little late tonight. I wanted to do a part two on my video that I was talking about black women and obesity. And as I was saying, I was actually checking some stats, and it was some interesting stats that I found. They say black females are 85 have an 85% obesity rate. Out of all groups, black women have the highest obesity rate. I didn't know that. Those are some interesting stats. When I was looking for the thumbnail to put on the video, I was looking at those stats and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And so, um, like I said, I'm not being trying to target black women. I'm a black woman, so why I'm gonna target black women? I'm not trying to target black women, but I was talking about some of the issues that as to why black women um, are having obesity. A lot of black women are having obesity issues, and one of the things that I was talking about is our diet and how we were raised on the soul food and how it's hard to get away from those eating habits. And actually, you can cook healthy versions of just about everything that you make soul food, you can actually make healthy versions of, you know. And of course, the diet that the doctor has me on now, I can't eat mostly, I can eat greens, but a lot of the things that is in the soul food diet, I can't have. So, uh, but I was talking about how, how we're raised eating certain types of food and then it's you used to a certain types of foods you're gonna keep it's hard to get away from that and make changes into a healthy lifestyle. Uh, and also, like I was also talking about how we are socialized, like black women are socialized to think that being thick, as we like to call it, is attractive. Most black women are very confident about their bodies, which is good, which is a good thing. It's a good thing that we're confident about our bodies, but we also need to be at a healthy weight, you know, um, and because we know that black men typically like their women a little healthier, a little thicker. Um, but I do believe that a lot of black men want women that are shapely, have a healthy, shapely figure, versus an unhealthy figure, that way. So, but we're socialized to believe that, well, we're thick, if we're overweight, we're still sexy, we're still beautiful. In the black community, it's considered a big vanity thing if you're thick, and and like I said, women should feel beautiful at any size. I mean, any size that you are, you should feel beautiful and confident in yourself. There's nothing wrong with that within itself, but you can't get to the point. I think that thinking a lot of times black women have went overboard with that mentality because it gets to the point to where black women are obese and they're thinking, and they're obese and they're unhealthy. They're at an unhealthy weight, and that's not good. That's not good because you can still have a beautiful figure and still be at a healthy weight. It's all about exercising, doing cardio, working working with weights, weight training. And a lot of women, they shy away from doing weights because actually I have been doing weights for years. Um, a lot of women shy away from doing weights because they think that they're going to bulk up like a man. Do you realize how much time you would have to spend in a gym? Like women bodybuilders and male bodybuilders, they don't get those bodies by just going to the gym 45 minutes a day. They spend hours in the gym. They literally, these people, these bodybuilders literally live in the gym. They spend several hours in the gym and they're on a very, very high protein diet. And they spend hours in the gym to achieve all those muscles. It's not just going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, working out 45 hours or 45 minutes for 3 or 4 days a week. You're not going to get, you're not going to look like that. So don't be afraid to do weights. Weights is a good thing. You know, a lot of women shy away from weights because they think they're going to bulk up like a man. No, you would have to spend uh, lots and lots and lots of time in the gym to get to look like that, you know. So that's not a concern. You can do weights. You burn calories faster doing weights than you do with the cardio. So it's good to do weights. Weights is a good thing. And as women, as we get older, it's good. It's good on our joints. It's good uh, for us to weight training is actually good on your joints and everything like that. So not just black women, but I think all women kind of shy away from the weight thing. But actually, like I said, it's good for women to do weights because it builds that muscle. It helps you to tone. As I lose weight, uh, I'm gonna be doing more weights to actually tone myself to. So when I do lose the weight, a considerable amount of weight, I'm going to be nice and toned. And so I'm going to be, as time goes on, I'm going to be doing more weights to tone myself down to turn, I don't want to just be flabby skinny. You know, I want to turn it into some muscle. So black women, it's just as black women, we have to get out of the mindset. And when I say we, I'm talking about me too. We have to get out of the mindset that, you know, you know, uh, the thicker, you know, well, the thicker the better. Or I knew, like I said, I knew I had always been kind of weight conscious all my life, and I knew once I got to a certain size that, yeah, I'm overweight. I do need to lose some weight, and so I mean, I wasn't, I didn't necessarily have the mentality that, you know, you know, uh, I was still confident in myself. You know, I was still had a certain amount of confidence. When I started to lose confidence was when I started having the physical problems with my knees and my back, and sometimes it was hard for me to walk. That started messing with my confidence. When I started having health issues with my body, that actually started messing with my confidence and started kind of breaking down my confidence. But I wasn't one of these women that, oh well, I'm 200 pounds, so it's not that I was all that. But I think a lot of black women have the mentality that, okay, well, I'm 200 pounds, but I look good, thick, I know I'm looking good, and not realizing that excuse me, I got allergies right now, not realizing that they're not at a healthy weight. You can still look good, you can still have a nice bottom, you can still have a beautiful figure, it having a healthy weight. So I think black women have to change their way of thinking. You know, we have to not only change our diet, we have to change our way of thinking that no matter what size we are, we sexy, beautiful, and all this, because I think that mentality is what's killing us. There's nothing wrong with feeling beautiful at any size, but you gotta be at a healthy weight. You can't you can't feel so confident to the point to where you neglect to realize that you're not healthy. You're not at a healthy weight. Like I said, that wasn't necessarily my problem because I knew that once I got to a certain weight, that I was in fact overweight and I needed to lose some weight. And I, like I said, went in the gym and attempted to do that over the years, but still wasn't, still, I did take a lot of things out of my diet, like I quit drinking pop and stopped eating a lot of processed foods. So over the years, I did make a lot of changes in my diet, but I was still eating a lot of things that I shouldn't have been eating. I was still eating lots of sweets. Uh, I mean, not tons of sweets, but I was still eating stuff that I shouldn't have been eating. So when I would exercise, a lot, I think for many years, I was just marinating the other day. I think a lot of years, uh, I kind of maintained my weight. I got to a certain, I'm not going to tell you what the weight was, but I got to a certain weight and I just kind of I just kind of stayed there for quite some time. And it was because I was exercising, but I wasn't losing like I should have been losing because I was still eating things that probably still eating a considerable amount of carbs and uh, stuff like that. And when I worked at the daycare center, uh, when I left the daycare, I started losing the weight, and I knew I would because when I was working at the daycare center, I was eating lots of food. I mean, that place was a diet killer, so I was eating lots and lots of food. Uh, and so when I did in fact, before I found out about my diagnosis, I lost the 4 pounds because I wasn't eating as much food. When I worked at the daycare, I was eating lots of food. So, well, of course, when I left, I wasn't eating as much. And I think that explains the 4 pound weight loss before I found out about my diagnosis. So now I'm going to be losing even more because the doctor has me on this diet. And so that's what I was just talking. I was just thinking that um, black women, we have to. Yes, it's okay to be beautiful, feel beautiful, but not to the point to where we're we're at an unhealthy weight and we don't realize that we are at an unhealthy weight. Um, that's when it becomes dangerous. When you feel like, well, I'm 250 pounds, I'm looking good. I know I'm thick, and then you still call yourself thick, but really you're obese. You know, technically you're obese. And so that's that's the thing. And when you're obese, it sets us up for a lot of problems. I was having problems with my knees. I was having a lot of problems with my back. I had always kind of had problems with my back off and on, even when I was younger, off and on. But as I packed on more weight, I started having more problems with the back, problems with the knees. Even I had last summer, I had fasciitis in my foot. I started having problems with my foot. Now that I'm pre-diabetes, I found that out. So it's like a wake up call to me. And so I don't have high blood pressure, thank God, and they said my cholesterol was fine. So, but if I keep going on the same path that I'm going on, I will have high blood pressure. I will have high cholesterol, and I'll be setting myself up for heart attacks, a possible heart attack, a possible stroke. Because when you have a stroke, when you have a heart attack, it just happens just that fast. It's like you're a walking time bomb. And so I don't want to have heart disease. I don't. I mean, my grandmother died of a stroke, so it's a possibility. It's in my family. She had high blood pressure. My mom had high blood pressure, so it's a possibility I could develop high blood pressure. And so I want to turn these things around. When you're obese, especially as you get older, you're setting yourself up for all kinds of problems. Diet and exercise reverses a lot of stuff. When you have a healthy diet and when you exercise, it reverses a lot of stuff. And just me being, um, I've just been doing this diet that the doctor got me on for the last 4 days, and I just realized, just marinating on it and realizing that There is no shortcuts. I know some people try to do diet pills. There was at one time I tried to do the slim fast thing. I was always scared to do the diet pills. I didn't want to mess with no diet pills because I'm not a pill popper, and I'm always very, very, very careful about what I put in my body as far as pills and stuff. So I was always a little leery about diet pills. But I think I tried the slim fast thing before. I think at one time I did the patch. You know, they had this weight loss patch, and I did the vinegar and honey regimen at night. I was doing that, and really, when it comes down to it, there is no shortcuts. I was marinating on this the other day. When it comes down to it, there is no shortcuts. You got to cut your carbs, you got to cut your fats, and you got to cut your sugars. There is, and before I was thinking, I was like, well, before I was thinking, well, I just need to cut the sugar. I just need to cut the sugar out of, just cut my sugars down. You got to do all three. You got to cut your carbs, you got to cut your sugars, and you got to cut your fats. You got to do all three. And then you have to exercise. Excuse me, I have allergies. And then you have to exercise, you not just diet, but you have to exercise as well. You got to do both of them. There is no shortcuts. And that's what I'm starting to realize. And I think a lot of people, not just black women, but a lot of people in general, have the tendency to think that way, that, well, maybe I'll do this or I'll do that and still be able to eat the foods that I want. Doesn't work that way. There is no shortcuts. You got to eat a healthy diet, and you got to exercise. And there are certain things you're going to have to cut out of your diet or cut back drastically if you want to be at a healthy weight. Because when we gain all this weight, we're setting ourselves up for heart attacks, strokes, arthritis. You know, black women, we got to do better because a lot of us are single moms, a lot of us are taking care of other people, and we need to be there for our families. So we got to take care of ourselves first. We have to take care of our bodies and have to take care of ourselves so we can be there for our children, our grandchildren, everybody. Because a lot of us are single moms. A lot of us are taking care of other people. And so we got to take care of ourselves and got to get out of this mentality no matter how big I am, I'm still sexy, I'm still looking good. It's okay to feel confident, but don't feel confident to the point to where you don't think that there's a problem, that you don't think that you're obese, and it's gonna present a health hazard. So we have to change our way of thinking as black women. We have to change our way of thinking, and we got to make changes in our diet. That's everybody, but like I said, black women, we have a high obesity rate, and so we got to make the changes if we want to be here for our families. So that's just some of the things that I was marinating on. I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet Jim.